is basically take this octave, for example, like a, or a, that would, if this were a diatonic scale, it would basically be, the tonic is the very first note in the scale. So the scale, let's do a C major scale, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is technically 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Sorry, I haven't played guitar in such a long time. But yeah, so basically think of it this way. Here's a C major scale, for example, starting on the C, right here, this, starting on this C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a C major scale. On the contrary, the C minor scale is a... That's right. Okay, so if you're doing a C major scale, the tonic is the C, like I said. This is the tonic, also here. Di meaning 2, obviously, diatonic. And it's important to know like the other kind of notes in the scale, like for example, this, I'm going to be completely honest, I can never remember what the second note is called, but the third note, right here, is called the mediant. This is called the subdominant, it's the fourth note. The fifth is called the dominant. So it'd be tonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant. And then after this it's submediant. And it actually, in the picture I send you, it'll make a lot more sense as to what this all means. Like it's honestly more of a science than anything. Like once you just understand how it's shaped, you can quickly figure it out, like on any other note, basically. So, like a tonic. Oh God, I can never remember, but I'll find out. Mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant. One I can never remember, and then we're back at the tonic. So it basically just get to know those like kind of scales. It's important to know those because when you're building chords, when you're like learning chords of any kind, it's just really fucking goddamn handy to be able to know quickly, like, okay, like the any regular ass chord is always going to have the dominant, the mediant, and the tonic. That's what a chord is. Like for example, if I were playing a D major chord, technically, like on a piano, like a real technical D major chord would be D, F, A. Remember I sent you that picture that D, F, A? D, F, A is a D, D major chord, so if you're playing together, it'd make that noise. Sorry, I'm out of tune. And a chord is always tonic, mediant, dominant. Tonic, mediant, dominant. 1, 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're following me, it's so forth. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I were to play that together, it would be, which is the 1, the 3, and the 5. And it's the same thing for a minor. If it was, that's a minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I were to play at the same time to play a minor chord, it would be, and that's still the 1, the 3, and the 5. It's still, because you have to remember, it's just the first note in the scale is the tonic. Once again, I can never remember the second, but the third is the mediant. Whether it's a major and here, or a minor and here, it's either or either one. It's always the 1, the 3, and the 5, or also known as the tonic, the mediant, and the dominant make up a chord. So, and that applies all of the time, whether it's a major or minor chord. And it's just once you kind of figure that out, it's a lot easier to reason out every other chord that you could possibly need. And it also helps when you're figuring out seventh chords and diminished chords and whatnot, because like diminished chord is basically just when you diminished means moving something down a step, a half step, and then augmented, I'm sure you've heard that, means moving it up a step. So if I were to play a D major augmented, or a D major regular, right here, if I were to play a D major diminished, it would be, you hear that? Like, I'm diminishing the dominant, which is, you know, the fifth. I'm diminishing it by moving it down a half step. Versus, or an augmented would be regular, augmented, diminished. And you can also have, you know, augmented seventh chords, so you could have like something like a or a, this would be a actually I think this is a, you know, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that, but nonetheless that's why this is all important, is because, you know, it helps when building those kind of things. And you can also decipher what chord you're playing in any song, basically, because, you know, like sometimes it's not easy to tell exactly what chord you're playing, you know, because like it might be inverted, you know, instead of playing, you might be playing, yeah, okay, that's it, right? So instead of playing and having the tonic down on the bottom of the chord, you might be putting it up here and playing this. You know, that's still a D major chord, but it's just inverted. And here's another inversion. Those are three different inversions of a D major, all, you know, all at once. So, you know, those are all D majors, and it could be, instead of, I could be playing, yep, up here. Here's another one. Here's another D major. You know, and it's just it just helps to be able to decipher, okay, if I'm playing a D, an F, and an A, no matter what combination they're in, or, you know, how far away they are from each other or close to each other they might be, I know that a D, an F, and an A is a D chord, you know, and so that's why that stuff is important. So it's, I would say, besides that, I'll send you that picture of the scale, like just the structure of a diatonic scale, and once you actually like look at it, it'll make a hell of a lot more sense.